entered into a difficult situation or trial periods. Um, all through the life, if the Jewish people were going on some kind of a trouble, that means they were failing in certain part of their commitments to God. So that was so clear. Even in the Holocaust, people think that Holocaust, 2 million people were dead. But think about that. Why God allowed that to happen to Jewish people? One of the reasons were on those days the people were living in Germany and other areas. They were totally neglecting the Judaism. They don't want to have a Judaism, and they don't want to be recognized as Jewish. That could be one of the reasons that God left them alone into the hands of Hitler. So the Torah and the commandments and the covenants are the part of a Jewish life. At the same time, it is our responsibility also as a Gentiles joining with the Jewish people. We also have the obligation of committing ourselves into the commandments, and by observing the commandments and the covenants, we are automatically entering or acquiring the benefits of it, like blessings and other mercies and the grace from God. We cannot just obtain just like that only mercy and grace from God as long as we are not committing into in a Jewish world or in the Israel world. It is a must for us to attach ourselves into that one. So today, as I want to talk about the wine libation, what I'm trying to say is there were sacrifices. The sacrifices were started in the desert. Imagine that yesterday I was talking about Moses was trying to beat the rock. By that he put himself in a pressure or in a trouble that he could able to enter in the land of God, in the land of Israel. So God wanted to do him certain big things. Like, if God wanted Moses to speak to the rock, why would he ask him to take the staff and go? There is no need. Jewish people needed water, and all he had to tell to Moses is, Moses, go to the rock, speak to the rock, or turn the faucet or something, let the water comes. Apart from that, God was telling to Moses, take this staff, go there and gather all the Israel people. Gathering 2 million people in the desert land, for what? For just he could have just gone and turned on the water itself. But God wanted him to gather all the 2 million people, take the staff, because he wanted to give a lesson, give an exhibition for the whole new generation who was there, to give them a lesson that God, the Jehovah God is the one that who leads them, who is still alive, and who is going to lead them into the Canaan. But Moses totally messed up the situation. Moses went and beat the rock, and I talked to you yesterday everything in my Torah portion yesterday. But here, the one more thing, that the spice. Today we're going to talk about the wine libation. The sacrifices when they were doing in the desert land was totally different, or the same sacrifices changed into different form when they entered into the land of Israel. See, when the spies were sent to Israel, they were supposed to bring the news what they saw. Instead, that spies came and told so many other things, and then they also had a conclusion, or they took a decision that they shouldn't be entering into the land of Canaan because of due to the gigantic enemies were there. So the more they delayed in the land of God, the Israel land, they were supposed to stay outside the land. They stayed 40 days inside Israel, spying the land. They were outside the land of Israel, and the land of Canaan, 40 years in the desert. So the spies made also a lot of issues, a lot of problems to this community. Now, the sacrifices when they were doing in the tabernacle, when they built in the desert, they were doing a transcendence of the sacrifice. They were having the heavenly food, the holy water. So the sacrifices are, transcending from from downwards to upwards. It was going upwards. All the purpose of the human life, according to God, to the Jewish people, is to live, to breathe, to eat, to drink in this land, to devote themselves to God. Nothing else to do. Praise Him and devote God. That is the main purpose a man would do, a Christianity, a person would do, a Christian would do, a Christ follower will do, and a Jewish person will do. This is the total absolute expectation of God. Rather than that, we try to acquire the whole thing in the world. We try to live our own ways, which is not God wants from us. So when there were the laws according to the land, there are certain laws to be followed in the land. That one was when they enter in the land, when they do the temple sacrifices, they have to do wine libation. They had to put the wine into the sacrifices. They had the funnels, they had the basins, underneath the table. When they pour the wine on top of the sacrifices, it will flow down to that symbolically means that God's, flowing the blessings to the to the people in the world. So they had to change because they have to plow the land, they have to sow the seeds, they have to grow the plants and get the wine and pour the wine in each and every sacrifices. The law was totally changed when they enter into the land of covenant. But to avoid that one, the spies would wanted to stay outside the desert land, and telling them that, we will study the Torah very well, we'll practice the Torah very well, and then we'll go to the Israel land. That's what the spies were telling. But the commandments or the covenants, the Torah covenants were much different. When they entered the land, they have to do the wine libation. They have to pour the wine. Not only the wine, they have to pour the meal, which is comprised of oil and the flour. They have to mix it and put it when they are doing the burnt offerings or other sacrifices, peace offerings or anything. They must do along with the sacrifices. Folks, I'll tell you, the life of a Christian life or a Jewish life is only based on what God wants them to live. God wants us to live a sacrificial life. God wants us to give sacrifice to God, devote ourselves to God, live only for God, not for us. That is the bottom line expectation. But we in the world, we don't do that anymore. We don't follow that anymore. You will not believe the Jewish people went through the struggles. Even the Christians killed Jewish in millions and millions. They took crusades on them, and then they killed the Jewish people. And also the Jewish people, were forced to become Christian, accept the Christianity. They were chased out of the country just because they were not accepting the Christianity. These are all happening after the 3rd and 4th century of after Jesus Christ death. So the denomination, the Christianity took a different roles in playing with the Jewish people and totally separated them from the Christian life. But the Bible not talks about like that. Bible is not talking about. That is the only reason right now that we can see in the world that we are having a lot of problems. If we would have taken seriously and observe the 613 commandments in this world, the world would be facing these type of big problems. commandments, the covenants, the Torahs, where we are supposed to follow, we are missing it too much. And it is a high time, and it is about time we need to elevate ourselves, from what we are learning, what we're exercising right now. It's not sufficient enough for us to move into a different level. It is the end of the fifth millennium. We're almost finishing the sixth millennium now. 5,740 years or 45 years have been gone. Only a few more years to finish the sixth millennium. Now, when the sixth millennium is finishing, there's surely the returning of Jesus Christ is there. When he comes back and see us, if we are not doing anything, if we are not even attempting to do, there is no way possible that we think that we can go into. We think that our goodness will take us to whatever we are exercising, the thing that will take us to the heavens. Wrong calculation, wrong. Bible is not speaking like that. That is why I'm telling all the time, change from think a little bit more higher than what you are. You cannot still think the blessings and all the peaceful life on this earth. Earth is a transition period. I mean, it's just we are going to transit here. In this transit area, what we're going to do is make sure that we are observing, we are working along with Jesus, we are working along with God, and doing all the commandments, covenants, each and every procedure, ritual procedures they had a wonderful meaning to the life. So if I'm not asking you to go and do the ritual procedure right now, but I want you to follow how it is followed during the first century of the Christianity, what the apostles did, how they behaved, how they worshipped, how they conducted, how Jesus did. That's all I'm asking you. How Jesus did. Did he fulfill the commandments? He said very clearly, I came to fulfill the commandments, not to destroy them. So he did it. When he did it, how come we are missing it? Why these things were not taught in the churches? Why we are still, modernizing ourselves and, putting ourselves into trouble? So, wine libation, the wine offering or the pouring of the wine with the sacrifices, it teaches the humanity that humble themselves, be a sacrificial person or a bread or sacrificial thing or, to God. Our life is to live sacrificially only to God, not to the world life. So if you think that what I'm telling is right, or what I'm saying is right, you will definitely go and dig out and and find out that doesn't make sense or not. And I'm sure it will definitely make sense. And these days, especially if we are celebrating the 4th of July, the Independence Day of the United States of America, I encourage you guys to think about this one. We are entering into the land. We are entering into the land. You know what? One thing is that I myself is connected. May 14th is my birthday. Israel liberated on May 14th. What a connection. I always enjoy that one. I'm planning to go next year to Israel. It's not the purpose of just to see Israel, but there is a 70 years of celebration of the liberation. So I want to join the 70. 70 years is very important. So I want to join that one. And if you wanted to come in, please let me know. I have a wonderful, wonderful package of 10 days, 15 or 10 days of hotel, stay, food, transportation, attending the conference of the 70 years conference, everything included. It's going to be costing only $3,000, the cheapest one per head. So let me know. I'm not an agent or anything. Don't think that I don't get anything in this one, because I just saw something. So it will be nice if you wanted to come in there and if you want to ask for this one. Okay. So libation, wine libation, change of the sacrificial procedures, and living style of each and every Jewish and also us is very important. I'll come back with another portion of Torah next time. Until then, be safe. Bye.